Hey everybody, it's Penny. Tonight I start a 3 night in a row work week, 12-hour shifts. So what that usually means is by the time I come home from that first one, I don't do much of anything in the world except work, come home, sleep, and go back and do the same thing for 3 days. But I really felt the need to sit down and do a little something today because it helps me to do something creative before I start a run of, the type of work that I do in the hospital, and it's technical and it's patient care and it's wonderful, it's stimulating, it's draining, it's all those things. So having a little creative outlet before I go down for my nap for today is something I wanted to do but not take a lot of time. So this is the book that I bought at the flea market last weekend, and I did the page the other day. So I'm just going to flip and get started. It's a very low-key book. And somewhere in here, here is where I put my leftover paint the other day from my palette, because you see I don't like to waste. So I'll go ahead and start another page with some of that paint. I might go over it, might not use it all, I don't know. But I'm just going to play here for a minute, all right? So let's get started. Just going to throw some paint on my palette. Really sure about the colors, but I'm gonna probably mimic, some of the colors I used last time, but I might bring in a couple of little surprises to make this page a little different. I'm dying to use this bright pink. It's just calling to me. Excuse my dog back there. That's the problem with doing this live like this and not voiceovers is, oh my goodness, almost couldn't open it. She makes herself known, and they're mowing the lawn outside. Oh, that's way too much. I hate that. Let's see if I can save it. I hope she's not going to do this the whole time. Oh well, it was $1. I'll get over it. But yep, this is the day that they're mowing outside, and so she'll go nuts. All right, so just slapping paint around the page to start off with, and you know what? I want something that's got a little bit of green to it. Let me try this Jane Davenport. It's bright, but maybe I need a little bright. Ooh, pink and green and aqua. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, I like it. So let's just get it on the page. No stress, just play. Let me get something underneath. I need a piece of paper. I don't need it. I don't care if it really goes on the other, but hit some of the places where I don't have the other paint. Bring in some of this blue color. Oh, Penny. Just want to protect it at this point. I'm laying down this paper. Lay down all this paint, get it in the crack. Try not to have a really wet brush when you're doing that. You don't want to destroy your spine. I don't put a lot of, when I'm doing altered books like this. Oh my gosh. Hang on, I'm shutting the door. Okay, I'm back. Doggone it. So, yeah, when I'm doing altered books like this, I don't put a lot of water on my page. And what I'm going to do, I usually do this before I get started, and I didn't today. I was just jumping right in. But I will use my trusty little Yoo-Hoo glue stick, and I'll glue 2 pages on that side, 2 pages on this side, just to give it more stability. So I will probably do that today. As soon as I get this first layer on and it dries, I'm going to glue it. So I want to clean my brush off in between so I don't get all muddy and stuff. Move my little clips for now. And I'm going to bring in some of this green. It's probably going to be too bright. So I think I'm going to tone it down. Maybe with some of this gold. What'd that look like? Don't know till you try, do you? Yeah, that tones it down a little bit. Gives a little sheen. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, over there I got a little bit more gold in the green. That's kind of cool. I think rather than mix, I'll just put one down and go over with the other. That's kind of fun to play with. A little bit more green, a little bit more in there, then go over it with the gold. I guess this was a bad time to start doing this, but with all that mowing out there, it's not like I'm going to sleep yet anyway. I got to kind of get through and go on down the neighborhood before I can get some sleep. Yeah, I live in one of those blasted HOAs, but the good part about it is somebody else does my lawn mowing. And it's just more than I want to take on at this stage in my life. Been there, done that, you know what I mean? I can tell you one thing, my dog does not like string trimmers or lawnmowers, as you can tell. I'll run some of this gold just on top of some of this other stuff I've got on here, just to give a little sheen. I like it. I can't help it. I'm a little bit of a gaudy girl. I like that shine and bling and all that stuff. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, let me clean my brush off. Get another little brush. I'm good. Ooh, let me get a little smaller one. Let's just put some pops of pink in here. Little circles, why not? Why not? Another little trick is kind of go off the page a little bit. So everything's just not centered right on your page. It just makes it more interesting. At least to me. You do what you want. It's your journal. That's what's lovely about all this. Mix in some little ones. And then I might come in with a couple more colors on top of this. I just want marks. I just want it kind of messy, grungy. All right. And I'm going to let that dry. Well, I'm not going to let it dry. I'm not that patient. Because I got to get to a nap here pretty soon, so I'm going to help it along. All right, so one of the things I've done recently is I do save quotes that I like, or just little sayings, or anything that pops out to me as I'm going through life and I want to remember to use in a journal. And one that I did not too long ago was I love Maya Angelou quotes, and I'll grab hers from time to time. But this one says, try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. And I'm just tearing it off. It's probably off camera, but I'm just tearing it out of the piece of paper that I printed off with some quotes on it. So, yeah, that's what we've got. All right. So I'm just going to tear it out. I don't want anything pristine. This is kind of a grungy page, but a bright and colorful page too. And there's one more color I'm going to add to this booger too. This is a purple paint that I bought at the Dollar Tree the other day. And I don't know if I'm going to like it, but it was $1 and it was pretty. And sometimes it's kind of hard to find purple. Let me see if I need to take off the... Yep, it's got a seal. Let me get that off. And I'll let you know if this is good. Let me see the name of it. Jot. J-O-T. Jot. At the Dollar Tree here in North Carolina. I live in Charlotte. Oh, looks like a pretty good consistency there in the pan. So let me just see what I do with that. Let's see, I got a little... So one thing I like to do is have a little pad, just a little scribble pad, cheap sketch pad, Dollar Tree, whatever you want to do. Keep it handy on my table. So for offloading some of this paint, when I want to do a stencil, you want to get the key to stencils and getting a nice clear image is whatever you decide to use. Dab it in the paint and then dab a lot of it off. Look, I got a little bit of that green on there too, but that might not be bad. And then you get a cleaner stencil. And I just start by dabbing. As I get more paint off, then I can kind of, you know, hit and move it a little bit. But if you don't get some of this paint off, what happens is it's so thick, it runs underneath there, and then you don't get the clear lines like I'm doing there. So... yeah, the pigment in this stuff isn't super-de-duper, but it's not bad. It's not bad. And I can, you know, I can go over it a few times to get it darker. Like that one. You know, this went over a couple more times. So you can do that. And then this paper, I'm going to have enough stuff on this eventually that I'm going to tear it out and use it on a page in a book. So yeah, nothing, when you're doing this kind of journaling, nothing's a waste. Waste not, want not. Just playing around. I just want to get the color, but a different pattern. A little bit too much paint on that little row, but that's all right. Okay. That works for that. This is just a piece of one of those little triangular makeup sponge things. I just tear them up. I'll start using them and it dries and gets hard, and I'll tear that part off till it's soft underneath and keep going. I use it all. Okay. And so I'm gonna give this a quick dry. All right, so this is done on a stark white paper. You can copy this off, you know, on anything you want. I've got some craft paper I might use next time. But I don't like, well, sometimes I do, but I think today, no, I don't like the white, the stark white against here. But you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, with all that color, it might be a nice contrast. So let me do a couple of more things before I adhere that. I want to put a little black on here because I always like pulling in. Tell you what, instead of using that, let me pull out my trusty VersaFine black stamp pad. It's permanent. It's not so juicy that it seeps under stencils and all that kind of stuff, and it gives you a nice crisp line if you're using stamps like I wanted to use. I thought, yeah, that laid them out. These are the ones I got Tuesday morning last week, and so I wanted to use this one, which is like the handwriting and the postal stamp. And this is a good page to do that on. So you can mount these to a block, which I have around here somewhere. But I've stuck them on a little Altoid tin or something like that and used them. And they were, oh, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Here I have one. So this is a little tin that has letter, you know, little letter stamps in it. But I've also used it to mount, you know, stuff onto stamp. So let me try that. Now, if I don't care about getting the entire stamp, I'll just use my fingers and just kind of press it down. That's fast and easy. But I'm going to try to get this whole stamp. I'm going to try it. And let's see. That's nice, except for I got it off the lines there. But you know what? This is kind of a grungy type page, so that works. I'm not worried about it. Always keep your wipes handy. Now I've got these little daubers are great. I think Ranger makes these. It's a little sponge, kind of like the makeup sponges, but it's attached to a little thing you stick on the end of your finger, and it's fabulous for doing little stencils and stuff. And this is my little trusty sequin waste. They pop sequins out of. And then they learn they can sell it to crafters because we'll buy anything. And tear it because that one's always bent. It drives me crazy. Okay, just a little bit bigger. And again, you can start light, see what you like. I like it like that. I don't need it super, super duper dark. I'm just trying to build up a little texture around the page, a little bit darker color. And if I do want it darker, I just kind of go back over one area of it, and then I'll kind of extend it out. So it's darker in one section and then lightens as it goes, and that's kind of a cool look. I like that. So let's try that here. I want to get darker, and then I'll get lighter as I'm fanning out from it. I love that when you pick it up and go, wow! I'm easily amused. Okay, good enough. So that gave enough texture for what I want. Now, let's see, because there's one thing I might do when this is all done with. Let me get this split on the page where you can still read everything, and I like it. Right there between the in and the someone. Okay. So I'm going to use my little Yoo-Hoo glue stick on this. And a little credit card. And you can see pretty instantly where you didn't quite get it to the edge. So you just go back in there and do this little number. Now, I want to do something. What do I want to do? Oh, let's use some mermaid markers. These are bright. They'll mimic some of the colors I have on there. And give a little help to this all white sign I got going on. So let's just see what we got. No stress, just running it around. Remember, I got to do this in a hurry. I don't have a whole lot of time to be a perfectionist about this today. Okay. Just kind of marries it in a little bit, doesn't it? Let's see what color this is. Maybe brown. I don't want brown. So this is the kind of pen you can squeeze to get more out if you want. See like that over there? I don't know if it's picking up from over here. So on this paper, it's just kind of hitting and running. It's not making a perfect circle. I like that. And just make a few little squiggles. It may be the paint under here that may still be a tiny bit damp as opposed to some other that's dry, because there's difference in marks. It doesn't bother me. All right. I like that. And those mermaid markers have a little bit of sheen to them. Some of them don't, but these look like they have a little pearlescence. It's kind of cool. What I did is I took an old Sam's Club card, credit card, whatever you want to do, and I cut it up into different widths to use in different applications. And here's one of them that I like to do. On this thinner one, I'll just dab it in some white paint and just make some marks on my page. This just kind of helps brighten it up. The other thing it does for me personally is it keeps this white from being so stark. And I got some of these dots maybe a little darker than I wanted to. That's fine, but I'm just gonna push it back with some of this. It's just white gesso and this little credit card. So it kind of keeps this poor little white quote from just kind of sticking out and being out there all by itself. Adds a little bit more white to the area. What if I do something like that? Yeah, like that. That's very cool. So that adds a little bit darker. Now I'll have to wait for this to dry a little bit because it's going to be thick in some areas. But I like that difference in some of the sheer and then some of the darker lines that I'm getting with this. And I like the kind of crosshatch thing going on, so I might do more of that. Maybe a couple more up here. Okay, good enough. Scrape off. Scrape some of this other color down here. All right, so honestly, that might be all I do today. Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. It's a really good reminder for me before I hit work and start taking care of people who are not having the best day of their life. They're in a hospital. So anyway, you can do a lot in just a few minutes of your time. So go have fun, play, color, get your hands messy. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. I just wanted to show you, this is the offloading paint and what was left over in my palette. And I just scraped and used a bubble wrap on top of it and put it on this, you know, very inexpensive sketching pad. So that will be torn up and used in another journal, so it's not a waste. Take care. See y'all next time.